Hi, this is Majinoni, and my friend Fu and I were on that quest to find, the best haunted house in Arizona. So we decided to go down to Tucson, and we went to a place called the Slaughterhouse. This is located at 1102 West Grand Road in Tucson, Arizona, and it's just right off the I-10. Now, the Slaughterhouse is basically designed with four different haunts. There's the Twisted Tree Mortuary, which is they rate it moderate, Carnival, and the Boiler Room, which are both rated very scary, and City Meats, which is extreme. And under extreme, it's basically they can touch you and stuff. Now, when we walked into the place, we thought this place is really cool. It had like a rave-like thing, dance. They had a stage with they're playing music on it. They had a souvenir shop where you can buy a T-shirt, food, and they had the wandering actors with, that looked evil and chainsaws and things like that. Now, they said we thought overall we thought the atmosphere was really, really good, and so what we decided to do is we bought a ticket for all four, and we thought we'd go from the least scary to the scariest. And the first one we went into was the Twisted Tree Mortuary. Now, the Twisted Tree Mortuary is really designed for kids, for the most part. It's not very scary, but despite the fact that it's not scary, I think they do a really good job inside there. The actors are really, they really do a good job. The whole atmosphere of the graveyard that you're going through is great. It looks cool, looks nice. The only thing that didn't make sense were they had these redneck cannibal type people at the end. There's like a cabin, and the cabin was cool, but it didn't make sense for the people. I think maybe if you had the gravediggers would have probably been better. But if they were gravediggers, we had no clue that that's what they were. Overall, though, it's not scary, but there was like a guy and some girls in front of us, and the youngest one, she was screaming, and she's like, "Don't touch me because I'm gonna freak out on you," and I'm like, settle down. But overall, it was it's very I guess you can say kid friendly. Okay, the next one we went into was Carnival, and Carnival is your typical 3D clown nightmare maze with cool visual effects. And let me just say this, I'm getting really tired of 3D. I'm getting really tired of the clown 3D. And I know there's people who love this stuff, but it's what does it do? It does nothing. That 3D stuff really doesn't enhance anything. They just splatter paint on the walls, and you go, "Whoa, look at that! The paint just stands out a little bit more." Who cares? If a house has to rely on 3D paint to make it scary, you're doing it wrong. Let me tell you right from the bat. Now, inside they do some nice things. While it's very carnival-like, which is all right, and they do have situations where there's like carnival games and things like that nature. But I think what they do is they rely on the clowns too much. I think what it really needs are where are the oddities? Where's like the bearded lady, lizard boy, wolf man, those types of things. Where's the human beast that's chained to the wall type thing, and he's trying to bust out to eat you. It needs stuff like that. But this is overall my biggest complaint. And I knew this was I had a feeling something like this was going to happen, because when we're watching the people leave, nobody's running. They're just all walking. And they're walking one after another after another. There's no gaps, or very little gaps. So when we get up there, what we discovered was basically what they're doing is they have this concept when there's a lot of people, just shove them through. Don't matter, just shove them through. There's very little break in between groups. And like, for an example, with the Carnival one, there was already a group of like 6 people or so. And they're like, how many in your group? 2? Okay, you go with them. I'm like, why? I don't want to go with them. That's 6. You know, you save us for the next group type thing. And then even though they sent us with them, that next group was right behind us. So it was almost pointless. Also, the 3D glasses, they're wet. You know, they don't have time to dry. Nobody has time to dry them, I should say. And you get water on the lenses, and if you try to wipe it off, the lens pops right out of the glass. So that's even a mess. Now, what really, truly pissed me off the most about this one was we're going through it, nothing is scary, I'm getting really annoyed because we're right up against the other people. The other people move like, you know, Freddy and Jason are right in front of them wanting to eat them. But anyways, we finally catch our group, who's moving a little bit on the slow side, finally catches up to the other group that's in front, and then nobody's moving. And I'm like, excuse me? Everybody just stood there. And it got really awkward because you have, like, I think there's at least 2 clowns in the room, and we're all just looking at each other because some idiot up in front won't move. And I finally got so pissed off, I yelled to move because this is, like, ridiculous. You know, if you're that scared, you know, I was thinking, then you shouldn't be here. Use one of the exits. Well, we found out what the problem was. What it is I guess there was that inflatable, you know, female body part that with the balloon with the air in there. Well, people were having issues with trying to figure out how to go through there. There's a clown there, and you know the clown points, but people just look at it like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, you're supposed to go through that thing, you know? And I'm like standing there going, this is ridiculous. I wish this is all I thought was I wish this was the gates of hell, because then they could pick her up, that girl up in the front, and shove her into that thing. And then she'll get the idea maybe she needs to move forward. Because all that did was, one, it didn't belong there, didn't add any value, and it bottlenecked everybody. Complete waste of time. They even had they had like sliding floors, so it's like when you push your way through that thing, the next thing you hit is a sliding floor, and you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I'm confused, and then it causes more bottlenecking. It was bad. Now, when you leave, there's nobody there to chase you out. You just walk out. I was like, this is ridiculous. But at the same time, even if they, let's just say you had a chainsaw clown man, and he's going to kill you. Yeah, how is he going to jump in? Is he supposed to jump into the middle of the line and then scare off a portion of the line? You can't do it because there's just a steady stream of people leaving. Oh, really annoying. Not scary. The boiler room. This is where you have the zombies. Now, the slaughterhouse is, you know, supposedly built in an actual real life slaughterhouse. So you have huge pieces of machinery and equipment. And the boiler room takes advantage of this. It's very atmospheric. There's zombies running around. The makeup is done pretty well, and you know, because of the line, I had a good opportunity to look at the makeup, even more so than what I normally do. And again, this is a situation where it's a steady stream, one right after the other. And what it is you feel like you're going through like a zoo or a museum, and it's like a tour. You know, the tour guide's in the front, and you're just following. And it's just the biggest waste of time. And it's just not scary. Now, there are people who get scared because for whatever reason, you know, they didn't see the zombie, and then the zombie jumps out right at them, and they get scared. But you know, I'm a little bit more observant than some of these other people, and I see things, and I see the zombies, and I don't get scared. And it's like, you know, I might have jumped a couple of times if there wasn't the line of people. And it's a shame because there's really cool things in here besides the boiler room stuff. There's like a bridge in here, and there's like a thing that simulates rain, and it's just they put so much time and effort into this thing, and you know, it's just ruined by the line. And again, nobody's running out of the boiler room. Nobody's being chased. Everybody's just walking, and it was a disappointment. So when we went to City Meats, I was like going, oh, do I really want to go through this? I just want to go home because it's just, you know, I I just felt that if the City Meats was a letdown, then it would have ruined the trip. But we just, we're here, so we went. Now with City Meats, I have to explain a couple things about this one first. This is they call their extreme haunted house. It's supposed to be extremely scary. They can touch you. They have liquid spewing out at you. And so I was really excited about this. After going through Gates of Hell, I'm like, ooh, sign me up. This is the type of scare I need in a haunted house. But what they also have is the I'm a fraidy cat and sign. And basically what you do is you put your arms across your chest like an X, and then they don't touch you. And they basically back off a little bit. So we're going through this thing, and again, one right after the other, steady stream of people. God forbid they make us wait 2 minutes before they send another group in. No, it's just steady stream. Well, we had girls in the back, and a guy and a girl, his girlfriend in front. They saw the first guy in a mask, and both of them, the guy included, does the I'm a chicken safety thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? All I was thinking was, man up, dude. These are actors. They're not going to hurt you. At least intentionally. Since accidents can happen. And you are with your girlfriend, and you're telling me you're crossing your chest because you're scared. All I kept thinking was, man up, dude. Man the F up. And especially since my friend Fu was behind me, and she didn't cross her hands once. And she actually got physically, I don't want to say roughed up, but they grabbed her a couple times. Now, they saw me, and, I think there was that standoff where we're gauging our auras. And they saw that, I powered up, and my power level was over 9,000. And so they didn't want to mess with me. And, that's why they went to my friend. And they actually, when I saw one time what they did was they basically grabbed her in such a way where she got off balance and was leaning back, which scared the other people behind her. So it had like a dual effect to it, which I thought was cool. And she was happy with it because normally we don't get that kind of atmosphere or that kind of I don't want to say intensity, but it adds an aura of danger because normally they can't touch you. But again, this whole thing is ruined because it's like a museum, the tour guide going through. Now, I'm telling you, this is the one thing I can say, even though I've been really negative about it so far. Potentially, this is probably one of the best haunted houses I've ever been into. The attention to detail, fantastic. The masks, most of the time, were great. Only one time I noticed they could have improved on it a little bit. But other than that, fantastic. The actors, great. They look like they're having a good time. They were providing scares the best they could. They were doing an awesome job. Atmosphere was great. The theme was good. It was just, it had the theme of, the meat packing, and then they're chopping people up, and they stuck with it, and that was good. Fantastic. The bad, a steady stream of people. Nothing is scary any longer. And I think there were some things that they could have done which probably would have helped out a little bit. Like, I would have liked to have seen maybe people chained to the wall or on the tables getting cut up type thing. You can't... Now, they had actors outside trying to entertain us doing... I don't know what it was, but they're doing something. And I think those people could have been best served in City Meats. As victims and blood splurting and, that kind of thing. Would have been perfect. Especially since they can touch you. Imagine you're walking by a girl on a table and she grabs your arm, begging you to let her go. Perfect. That would have been a home run. Home run. But nope. Wasted opportunities. But anyways, Another thing, another suggestion I would have with city meets is you really need to stop the safety thing. The I'm a scaredy cat rule, and I think you really need to You need to say under 17 not admitted, period, and get rid of the safety thing. Granted, you're going to have less people go through, but by having less people go through, the people who really want to be scared are going to have the best time of their life in this thing. Because they won't have to deal with that steady stream of people going through. You can maybe have groups of 2 to 4 actually be alone at times and actually be truly scared. But, you know, it's like, I'm sure it's probably frustrating for the actors to a point when you go through it, when they're trying to scare people and you see grown men holding an X across their chest with their arms. I'm sure on one hand they're probably laughing. I'd be laughing because I'd be like, look at this pussy boy. And I'm sorry about that, but, you know, things like that come out every now and then. But anyways, it's supposed to be extreme, and it's not for some of the people, which is a shame. But anyways, I've been rambling. Again, with like the other ones, it's just not. The ending isn't even scary at all. You just walk out, and nothing chases you, nothing forces you out, which is a shame. Because when you have the label as extreme, I expect people screaming, running out every time. And it just doesn't happen. Not at all. And I think overall just wasted opportunities. Now, I think if you went to Slaughterhouse maybe on an off night, you'll probably have a better experience. Because since there's less people, maybe they can break up the groups a little bit better. So if you have been to the Slaughterhouse on an off night, I would really like to know. Because, you know, like, part of me, as it stands now, does not want to go back the way it is now. But if I can go in to city meets with just 2 to 4 people, sign me up. I will be there. And that's the only room I'm going to go to. But, you know, I guess there's only a couple spots in Tucson that's really worth going to. Or actually the only 2 places that you can go to. So, for what it is, it's a decent haunted house, but it's more of a, like a petting zoo view only type thing. At least during the peaker times. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down, let me know what you think. If you have been to the Slaughterhouse, I really would like to know your opinion on some of this stuff. Were you really scared with Carnival, the Boiler Room, and City Meets? And because like I said, there were people who were scared. One girl was chased during City Meets a little bit. So I know some of that stuff that does go on, but there was just nothing for me. But anyways, we still have some more haunted houses to review, and I'll have more stuff later. So until next time.